Welcome to Practical Principles. This is Practical Tips. We're doing Talking Terra. A bit of a new setup, so hopefully things go well. But yeah, we'll be shuffling decks and doing readings if you want, and otherwise chatting and having a good time. Maybe flipping cards for fun. We'll see. I'll go ahead and start shuffling because deck deserves a good shuffle. Hope you're doing well, having a good day. And hopefully we can have some fun. I guess let's go ahead and do a sound check. Listen to myself talking. Oh, it's a fair bit of at the end. Oh, and I'm pretty loud. Tone that down. That's a bit better. Hey, Rada. Doing well. How are you? Just playing with the settings a bit. There we go. Tone that down a bit. Excellent. Okay. How's the meditation been going? Sorry, being able to hear myself. It's causing me to slow down. Yeah, go ahead. Ask a question. I forget that the microphone has been picking stuff up really well. Should probably check to see how loud the shuffling is. Okay, put those aside. Did we use these last time? I think we just had Prisma last time. Let me shuffle that as well. Which I think makes sense given what we read about him. He's more methodical and whatnot. I mean, this is the part where I've got to figure out if we do another reading or if what we did last time is still holding and that we just need to stick with that a while longer. Because it's been, what, maybe a week? Maybe not even that. I've been doing it kind of, what's next move? I've reached towards me in this week. Communication coming by end of this week. I mean, I get the feeling that this is probably your anxious side, that you just need to stick with the meditation for a while. So I'm not sure that we want to do that sort of reading. I feel like that's just going to feed the anxiety somewhat. What are your thoughts? switch this just in case we do read. But I mean, I'm conflicted about doing more so soon. Yeah, Lena, let me just finish with Rada. You can be quiet. Or actually, I guess, Rada, go ahead and think about that. I'll do Alina. Just not sure we want to proceed with that. So, Alina, tell me about my ex and me. I thought this would be Destiny, but this feels more like an insight one. So we'll use Prisma Visions. Oh, okay. I'll go ahead and type it in the comments. But it feels like your anxiety. We're just feeding that to some extent, and that you should probably focus on the meditation and give it some more time. Hey, Alex. I'll write it in the comments in case it was. Okay. If it's fine now. But yeah, Rada, it seems a bit soon, and it seems like it's probably your anxiety pushing for something. Well, I don't feel like we should be asking that. I feel like we already have an answer and that it just needs more time. Okay. And I can understand the anxious side. Yeah, we need another shuffle. I can understand the anxious side. Like, it's totally reminiscent of my girlfriend, and she wants to know like specific time frame, but that's just not always available. And I think it's doing you more harm than good in this case, asking in that way. So I'd probably give it another week at least. If you can tolerate longer, I'd probably say see if you can stretch it. But let's give that some time. Yes. I've already got Alina's stuff set up right now, so let me go ahead and do that reading and then I'll flip back to you. So we're doing Alina on the left. Let me see. Where's the other one? Thanks. I feel like he's farther down. Relevant, but farther down. Okay, I think we found the card for him. And let me just refocus on that question about my ex and me. Okay. I'll figure out what what that card is in a moment. Yeah, that seems to be a relationship. Okay. What is this one? Seems to be your influence. Gosh. Okay. And I need one for his influence. What card? Is it farther down? Let's see. Sorry, it just takes me a while to sense the right card. Close enough. Okay. All right, and I'll go ahead and show you. Let's first we need this on the other side so that I can see what I'm showing sideways. And okay. So here are the cards. So we've got you here, X here, relationship, and then the influences in your lives. So I'll just go ahead and flip them all, and then we'll go through the cards. So for you, we got 6 of Swords, your influence, 4 of Chalices, relationship, Page of Pentacles, for X, King of Swords, and influence, 5 of Wands. So those are our cards. And now, yeah, switching hands. Gotta set it down so I can get the guide we're going to use. So let's start with you, the 6 of Swords. That's 7. Moving on, freedom, transition. The 6 of Swords has a simple message: move on. If you have exhausted the potential of some place or circumstance, it is time to flit away. Don't hold on to something out of maudlin nostalgia, or worse, fear of change and the unknown. Recognize the simplicity of your venture and flow on, towards freedom, towards change, towards adventure. Which, given that this is an X, makes some sense. Let's go ahead with the 4 of Chalices, your influence. Oh, awesome. Overindulgence, loss of excitement, apathy. Life, for all its splendor, will sometimes lose its taste. This is most often a sign of overindulgence. Inundating yourself with some fascination will deaden your senses to its unique charms and flavors. If you find yourself growing apathetic to a steady routine, stir things up within yourself. Resist the urge to settle. Though it may seem like a mighty effort, force yourself to be creative and original. Imbibe of the stream of life, which is probably why you're asking. Things might be getting a bit mundane. With the moving on, though, I'm guessing that's soon going to resolve itself, especially as you're moving past the relationship. So I'm not too worried. It's a little concerning, but I think you've got it. I think it's on its way to be handled. So let's go to Page of Pentacles. Where is... Nope, that's wands. Pentacles must be this way. There we go. And it's the page. So this was for the relationship. Financial gift, new skill, security. When you draw this card, you have been handed a gift from the universe. This could be anything. It could be some untapped talent within yourself you are just beginning to realize. Whatever it is, it will further your reach in the material world. Use the jaunty confidence of the page to break ground on your new endeavor. There is the promise of greater wealth, security, and influence. It's a good time to be alive, so enjoy it. Given the Six of Swords and the Four of Chalices, and that this was an ex that you're asking about, I'm guessing the gift is the experience you've already had with them. So, taking that forward, I think it's probably going to be a stone in a better relationship at some point. But yeah, I don't think it's talking about a new and budding relationship with the ex, which I think most of the time that's what it would be referring to. We have King of Swords for the ex. Clarity of purpose, realistic expectation, ingenuity. It takes a great man not just to fight evil, but to subsume it, divert it, and use it for good. Such an immense task calls for impeccable character and keen clarity of purpose. Realism and ingenuity are your greatest weapons when faced with a mighty foe. Do not let good sense become clouded with emotions. Face the facts with cold stoicism and find the best way to proceed. The answer may be simpler than you think. So, I mean, it suggests a powerful person, but perhaps, I don't know that clouded is the right word, but emotions may be more a disturbance for them, more troubling. Not that they're bad per se, because, yeah, just that they might let it go too far. So they might be overthinking a bit, but yeah. So I don't know. You'll probably have a better idea whether or not that Page of Pentacles is referring to a new relationship, but with your Six of Swords, I'm inclined to think you've moved on. So, yeah. I suppose there could be a hint of forgiveness in the Six of Swords, but I don't get a sense of returning or coming back to it. So, let's go on to the ex's influence, Five of Wands. Conflict, tension, compromise. As your idea grows and develops, you are bound to run up against some conflicting ideas and personalities. Rather than clinging to your vision of the future, humbly take heed of these numerous possibilities without ceding complete control. Find ways to incorporate others' visions in your own. Be flexible, be accommodating, be free. So, I mean, they're trying to take in other perspectives, other advice. They might be struggling with it a bit, but that's the influence in their life, that they have a somewhat, I wouldn't say spongy, because that's too absorbative, but they learn things and they, well, try to piece them into their worldview, which makes a person well-rounded in the long run, but they might have some trouble fitting it into its place, like a jigsaw. So, okay, that's what we have on those cards. I'm curious what your feel on the Page of Pentacles is, but I feel like the Six of Swords is a pretty strong move on. At least it's in the past. That's the sense I get from that. So, hope that was good. Rada, angel messages. Yes. What deck do we want to use for that? I don't think it's going to be Prisma. I'll give this a shuffle, but it's either Cosmo or, well, I suppose it could be Lost Forest. Let me go ahead and put this back. So that I can look at these and figure out which one it is. Okay. I'm feeling Cosmo. Okay. Let's flip this one. Angel messages. So we'll just see how many cards get pulled. I'm not sure if there's going to be a formal spread with this. Sometimes it's just cards. Yes, we're doing your angel messages for Rada. Yes. Just finished with Alina. I don't know if Alex is still around. I don't think he asked his message or his question yet. Let's see. A little more. No problem. I feel like the cards are in the middle somewhere, but I guess we'll just work our way through. Okay. Let's see what we've got. Okay, we've got one, two, okay. Little buddy system going there. Do we have more? Yeah, we have a third. Another buddy, okay. Is there any more? Hey, Sono. Let me finish this and then I can look into that. Let's see. Do we have some sort of spread? Or do we just have cards? I'm not quite sure. I can't tell if they're positioned in a particular way or not, so I'll just show them and let me slide these over so they fit better on the camera. Okay. And we'll just go ahead and flip. So we've got 9 of embers, 8 of birds, the dreamer, and the romantic. So, and again, Cosmo doesn't follow the traditional tarot names. Birds is swords. I'm pretty sure embers is wands. Looking at the backgrounds, the dreamer is one of the face cards from birds, and the romantic, one of the face cards from chalices. But we'll go through those. Let me set this down. Cosmo, okay. And I think we'll just do it in that order. So we'll start with the 9 of embers. There we go. Resilient, grit, last stand. The erupting volcano churning out fire in the distance may cause you to rethink your entire plan. You've been through it all, and you are exhausted, and this just seems like the finale you didn't need. This is your last push. You can see the end in the distance, and know that if you can make it there, everything will be okay. When this card shows up, don't let the fatigue set in. You are nearly there. Be resilient and push on with whatever determination you have left to finish your quest. Which, given what I know you're worried about, that makes a lot of sense. We'll do the 8 of birds. Imprisonment, entrapment, self-victimization. When the tornado shows up in a reading, you can expect a certain level of destruction and self-victimization to follow. Perhaps the situation has spiraled into something unmanageable, and it is hurling right towards you. Don't pity yourself for being stuck here. Part of it was your own doing. The imprisonment you may be feeling is self-imposed. Move through it and exit the destruction with as much dignity as you can. Which I think that still tracks. With what, yeah. I think you know what that's talking about, so I'll go ahead and go on. But if you need me to elaborate, just let me know. Because I happen to know what you've been asking about. Let me see if I can find the dreamer. Here we go. So this would normally be the Queen of Swords. Perceptive, complex, clairvoyant. The dreamer is perceptive and complex. They have a clear mind and can hone their wit for good. These are positive aspects, but in a reading, the dreamer will also show up when you get carried away living too far in the future. You have a big mind and big ideas, but you can get too caught up in your head that you forget to make the dreams into a reality. It is important for the dreamer to find a friend or accomplice who can help you build up these fantasies into something tangible, which I think is still tracking. Let me find the romantic. So this is normally the Knight of Chalices. Following the heart, idealist, romantic. Upright, this is a character who chooses to see the beauty in things, but can also be easily wrapped up in their own emotions. If the romantic pops up in a reading, take a minute to really cherish the good that you have in your life. It can be very easy to get caught up with the bad that we forget to acknowledge all that is good. The romantic teaches us that if we move forward with our heart and mind, love will surely follow. Yeah, I think all of that's resonating pretty strongly for, at least with what questions I know you're asking or wanting to ask. So hopefully that helps. 9 of Embers is probably the biggest push there. The dreamer can help, but that might suggest getting some social support to help out. I know which one you want, but you might need a sidekick until you can get that one. So, Okay. Um, let's see. Okay. Sonal, general reading. I think for most people that's referring to um, just a 3-card spread. But I try to figure out what each person needs, so you might get something different from that. General reading. Well, and the hopelessness makes sense. I mean, that 9 of Embers really spoke to that it feels like you didn't need this finale. That this is an obstacle you could do without. Um, so it makes sense that you're feeling that way. But I mean, that's the card that said grit. You need to pull whatever determination you have and keep pushing through. It probably doesn't help that what was it, 8 of Birds, the tornado, also showed up. Because, I mean, the self-imprisonment, the self-victimization, that's something very much internal. When it's external, it's a lot easier to get support. It's a bit more objective. But with the internal struggle, that can be harder. Again, the Queen of Swords was, gosh, what was that? The Dreamer was suggesting a friend, an accomplice, a sidekick. So I tap into your social networks, lean on them a bit for some support, some reassurance, some help. But yeah, this is a hard period that needs to be pushed through till you can get past that volcano and out of that tornado. So, and I feel like those are somewhat one and the same. But yeah, I mean, in my beliefs, yes, you will eventually find love. Really, the question is, will it be sooner or later? That depends on the person, uh, how they mature, or I guess how quickly they mature, and then the well, the path the higher power sets up to then line them up with someone. So, um, yeah. Okay, Sanal, the general. Okay, and I shuffle. Okay, this can go back. And I still need to know which deck am I using for you. Let's see. Sanal, green or blue? I'm just trying to pick between decks. No problem, Rada. Because I feel like either of these could work for your reading. And if not, I'll flip a coin or something. I'm leaning a little more towards green, so hopefully that's what you're inclined towards. I'll just proceed with that. And does this need more shuffling than what we've already done? Yes, we need at least one more. Let's see. And instinctively, I want to shuffle some more, but Top card. Second card. Third card somewhere else. A little further, okay. Okay. We've got 3 cards. I'll show you and flip them, and then we'll figure out what they mean. So much crossing of the arms. Wish me luck. Okay. So we've got the Crow, which is the major arcana, the Entertainer, and 6 of Embers. And again, this is the Cosmo deck I'm using, so this doesn't have the traditional names. But I can tell you what those are as I look them up. But let me go ahead and set this down. And we'll just go ahead and do it in that order. Cosmo, yeah. So Crow, major arcana number 1, would normally be the Magician. Force of creation, manifestation, willpower. The Crow teaches us how to change energy into a force of creation. We can learn great things from the Crow, but even greater things from ourselves. If you can will it, it can happen. You have called upon the Crow to manifest boundless creative energy. Let it fill you, and then exhale it back into the universe. When there is something in your life that you want, meditate on it. If it doesn't already exist, create it. You will find that you naturally gravitate towards the paths that will get you there. So, I mean, that's good for proceeding through life. I'm not quite sure what would be your interest, but it's speaking positively to being able to obtain them. Let's see. The Entertainer. So skillful, amusing, pleasing. The Entertainer is a conundrum of a character. He has acquired an audience from his notable skills and success, but has grown too dependent on these tricks to imbue meaning into his life. He measures value based on what there is to gain rather than the inherent beauty. In a reading, the Entertainer can be good when inquiring on fame and success, but in emotional or spiritual arenas, the Entertainer is a fraud. When it comes to matters of the heart, they can freeze up. And where this is a general reading, I think it's probably that latter case, that it's emotional or spiritual, that you might be freezing up a bit in that area. So, with the creative power of the Crow, I think you'll be able to melt that ice, so to speak. But let's see what the 6 of Embers has to say. This might also give us something. So this is normally 6 of 1. Oh, I forgot to say what the Entertainer was. So that's normally the Knight of Pentacles. And then 6 of Embers is usually 6 of Wands. So victory, minor success, self-appreciation. 6 suns rising shows itself when you need to recognize a victory. You have reached a point in your process where you can finally see how far you have come. While your journey is not yet over, it is okay to let yourself be absorbed in this moment. Even your minor successes are a gift worth celebrating. When you start to appreciate yourself, you'll find that you are capable of so much more. So, Yeah, I mean, it kind of breaks the monotony of the entertainer, um, such as maybe some reflection, um, but also there are positive notes to be had there. So I don't know what the success or victory in your life has been, um, but it deserves a little celebration, which I think will help boost things along a little bit. And then I think the crow will be able to carry you further. So, so that's what we got for Sanal. And I think at this point we're caught up on questions. Yeah. So um, if you're still hanging out, listening, joining, um, feel free to drop in more questions. I'll clean up and be ready for them in a moment. Uh, dun, dun, dun. This needs a shuffle. Lots of little parts needing to be shuffled in, but that's okay. I don't know if I've used Cosmo this much in a while. Hope you're doing well. If nobody has questions, we might just play with some cards for a bit. Or we might call it good. We'll see. This is good. Um, yeah, I feel like that's good. So I guess if you've got questions, put them in real quick. But otherwise, I'm inclined to call that a stream. A bit short, but we had some good readings. So yeah, oops, sorry for that. Yeah, I think we'll call it. Thanks for tuning in. We're streaming Monday, Wednesday, Friday, same time. So feel free to hop on next time. And until then,